Can you hear me good?
Yes. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. Election Nights Watch Live. If you're on Twitter, X, feel free to interact with us through the thread, the chat. And if you on YouTube, you can join us on live chat. Let us know, who do you vote for? Who do you want to see winning for this elections? And we also on Facebook Live. So we are currently on 3 different platforms. Okay. How are you doing, Thomas?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's actually we finally got here. So a lot of things has been going on since we were live on our Friday nights. And I think we kind of left off like around the first, actually not the first, the debate, right, between Kamala and Trump. And ever since that, a lot of things have happened, right?
Yeah. A lot of things have happened.
A lot of things happened.
A very interesting roller coaster ride.
Yes, and that the Trump assassin, the first one, is actually only 3 months ago. It seems like way long time, right? But it's actually only 3 months, a little bit over 3 months ago only, because there's so many things are moving so super fast, right?
It just keeps on rolling, and it's so much has happened in such a short time. It's almost like, where do you start? Where do you even look?
Yes. Yeah.
This is like somebody should definitely write this down and do a mini-series.
Well, I'm sure some
the last 6 months.
Yeah, I'm sure the writer from Netflix is somebody's probably making a drama series already.
You don't even have to name anybody. Just say it's based on real world events.
Yes, talk about Netflix. As we know, we left or right, they all have their people who endorse them, and I noticed that on the left side, a lot of celebrities endorsements. What are your thoughts on that?
This episode is brought to you by Kitcaster. Kitcaster books you on top podcasts. How do funded startup founders attract prospects and talent? Podcast interviews. How do entrepreneurs with exits find new deals? Podcast interviews. How do C-suite execs differentiate in crowded markets? Podcast interviews. Kitcaster books you on top podcasts. Click the link in the show notes for a special offer. Celebrate good conversation.
Celebrity endorsements are, to me, they're just entertainment. I mean, yes, celebrities are in people's face all the time. They're always on the TV. They're always in the media. They're always in the news.
Yeah. Something's
happening. You're on the big screen. People were used to seeing them. But when it comes to endorsements, it's for me, it's one of those. It's nice to see who you like and what your opinion is. I'm great. I'll listen to that all day. But when you come like, oh, I endorse, I'm like, whoa, slow down there, Buck Rogers. Endorsement is a whole nother thing. Because we're talking about politicians who make policy and all that. I don't want to see him endorsed by heads of economic departments and, major institutions that deal with these things. that they're talking about. I want to see those people do endorsements.
Yeah.
I want to see. I love Tom Cruise's movies. I don't really care who he endorses though.
Yeah, see, like the first person that really came out to endorse Kamala Harris is Taylor Swift, and it's very odd. And then after that is like Beyonce, J Lo, and I don't know who
Yeah, I
else.
saw a lot of entertainers coming out the woodwork to support, and I'm just at the same time I'm like not concerned. Didn't sway my vote. Didn't have any effect on my opinion. And that's not just. And that's not. I'm not. I want people to understand. I'm not trying to diss any of these entertainers for doing it. I'm not trying to disrespect them. It's just my point. My point is this. I'm looking at somebody who's going to be dealing with policy that's going to affect my direct life.
Right.
I have no concern about an entertainer's opinion as far as you want to talk about the policies. Great, I'll debate you on the policies. I'll talk about it with you. I'm not concerned about that. Like, yeah, because they affect your life too. But if I'm looking for an endorsement, I want to see who is the head of Microsoft endorsing. Who's Bill Gates endorsing? Who is Rumsfeld endorsing? I want to see people. I want to see who those people are endorsing.
Yeah. So if you talk about Bill Gates, Microsoft, on the other hand, Elon Musk endorsed Trump, and that kind of made a major change. We also did a watch party when he was interviewed Trump. Remember that we did that one as well?
Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to take Elon seriously. I take Elon Musk seriously when he's talking about SpaceX, Tesla, science, or how he had to deal with the SEC. I take him seriously when it comes to all of those things. When he's endorsing Trump, I'm like, oh man, you give your buddy a shout out. All right, cool. Not a problem. I respect that.
But
not really, I'm like, he did, because I look at this. He did that one interview with Trump.
Yes.
And had a massive amount of people watching it. Right?
Yes. Breaking record, yes.
Why didn't he do another one?
I think I'm not sure if he asked Kamala Harris to do another one with him. But so after that, kind of like Trump went to a different podcast show, including PBD and then Joe Rogan just last week. And then, Joe Rogan also asked Kamala Harris to come on to do an episode. But of course, Kamala Harris declined because
I think that's what she should have done.
She couldn't. Yeah, because she couldn't really do interview. I don't know if you've seen any interview of hers.
No. I mean, if there was any personality or internet personality she should have done an interview with, I would have. If I'd been honest, I was like, if Joe Rogan calls, don't say no. Whether you vomit or you do good, make sure you're ready. Don't say no.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying I'm not saying don't say no because he's too big for you to deny or you can't ignore him. I'm just saying that that's an opportunity.
Yes,
you should not pass up.
Yeah, they were playing. They kind of playing. How do you say? Oh, would you like to come in to do 2 hours? No. 1 hour? No. And they want Joe Rogan to fly out to them, and actually Donald Trump fly out to Joe Rogan in Texas to do it, and then for 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and then Donald Trump went back to Michigan to do I believe a rally of some sort. Yeah, so he's like nonstop.
Yeah, I'm like, you're campaigning. What the heck are you doing? Why are you sitting on your butt? That's like I said. I put it like this: Kamala Harris had a really, really good. She was already on first place. Okay, this was like baseball. If you're talking about baseball, you're getting up to bat, you're going for the presidency. Kamala Harris was already on first and second. She was already on either first or second. You know what I'm saying? She was on first because she's a VP in office at the time. She's on second because now she's running. And she didn't have to beat out the rest of the Democratic Party to get the nomination.
That's right. And
okay, so she's already on second base. You know, I'm like, no. You know, you like I don't know what these people don't have the I don't know. It's hard to say something because it's gonna look like I'm really trying to slam her, or you know, and I'm not trying to slam her. I'm not trying to disrespect her, but she dropped the ball. Like I'm at this point. I'm like, boy, I can't trust you. You know?
Yeah, I think because this past 4 years almost. We have Joe Biden, but we all know that he's have health condition, and the question is who's running the country. And now Joe Biden step down, and then now they automatically automatically have Kamala Harris to replace him. And people are saying, including myself, think so that someone else is running the country behind the scene, and that someone else, we call it the machine. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. And for a fact, that's another thing. How many layups are you gonna brick before you wake up? We know Joe Biden's not running the country because he couldn't make the debate. So that means you're doing it. So here you are, at least 6 months doing the job, 6 months doing the job, and you got to run a campaign at the same time. That you've already got that right there. 6 months worth of experience, and you running for second term as president. You're doing it. You were the vice president. You're filling in for the president. Running for president's office in the campaign. It's you better, if you can't recognize the interviews you should take. How am I supposed to trust you to recognize other world leaders you should definitely have a sit down with, and ones you can
oh my God. Just think about that. Just think about that. Like just Putin alone will really just kill her. Right?
Like,
just Putin
how
alone.
You expect me to believe you have the brain cells together to rub and know, okay, I can talk to this guy on the phone about this. I need to meet this guy in person about this. How can you expect me to believe you that you can even do the basics of the job? I mean, I know you're not going to be doing it all by yourself, but damn it, if you can't freaking recognize the interviews you should have, that you can't pass up.
Right. So I think they are trying to protect her because we all know she can't really answer questions, because every time somebody asks her a question, she cannot answer directly. She will say, I'm from the middle class. I'm from the middle class. And then
she's not leading her team to properly prepare her to field the questions. She's a vice president. The one thing she should know is when the lights come on, that camera, you better be ready to answer the question regardless. You do not have time. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
You
so
don't have
it's just
time for all that.
so this is very scary. If like I mentioned, just just Putin alone will kill her if she's responding is so slow and it's not very intelligent in a sense, right?
From the very first time she got up in front of the microphone running for president, she should, like I said it on her lap. I said it every time we've talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
She dropped the ball. She should have been ready on the issues from day one, not floating around peace, love, and happiness. Let's hope it's going to work all out.
Yes.
I get time for that.
Yeah.
This is the presidency we're talking about.
Yeah.
If you're a vice president, you're pretty much along for the ride. You just gotta.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying if you're the vice president, you pretty much just along for the ride. You just gotta know when to be like, when to smile, when to thumbs up, when to nod. Go sit in the corner, don't say nothing stupid. Go take care of that because you're my VP, and then come back and let me know what happened. But when you're going for president, you gotta be. It's been a majorly disappointing.
So when you talk about VP, what do you feel about the current VP candidate, JD Van and Tim Watts?
You know what I wish? If I could have put it together, Walz is the guy I would have told Trump that's who you pick.
Okay.
That's who you tap for your VP. Because that guy's going to keep you out of trouble. He's going to cover your back. He's got you. As long as you don't, as long as you don't let yourself get ahead of yourself, that guy's got you. You got a solid campaign with him.
Okay.
Vance, on the other hand, I put it like this. I fully expect to see a ridiculous scandal. During his term. I fully expect to see a ridiculous scandal.
How so? Just curious, how so? I say, okay, so you say you expect to see a scandal in the midterm. Is that what you say?
Vance is not ready to be a vice president. He's not ready for an office at that level. He should have really put in at least 6 more years as a senator or a congressman. To be honest, in my opinion, he should have really put in 6 more years, at the very least 6 more years as a senator or a congressman. He's not ready. He is not ready to be vice president.
Okay. All right. So just want to remind everyone, if you are on YouTube, you can join us in the chat, live chat, or if you're on Facebook, you can also make a comment. We will see it on our screen. And so far, there's a few. One that says, it's awesome seeing Trump leading the electoral votes and popular vote. And then there's another one. If you are Black and vote Trump, then you're, that I don't think, it's too, this comment is a little racial, but I don't think, doesn't matter which color, myself, I'm Asian, I vote for Trump. Trump is not, or Kamala is just for Black people. It's we don't want to put it that way, right? Or Trump is only for white people. That's the separation that the elites want us to get at each other. Which is not a good thing, right? Do you agree?
Yeah, that's one of the areas I think Trump failed to really show where he's above that whole narrative. He, in my opinion, is like, hey, as a businessman, I get it. I get your lifestyle. I get your view, your point of view. But as a politician, as a president, I'm like, you can't discount any of those groups. They may not, we're not over 50% of the population, none of them separately, but they make up enough of the population that they could swing the vote against you.
Yeah, so
you have to run a campaign that includes Blacks, Latinos, Asians, Arabs. You have to run a campaign that includes all of that, and then not forget about them during your term.
Yes, I do see, to be honest with you, this time compared to, let's say, 2016 or 2020, I do see more variety of people supporting Trump. I see an Asian lady, coming out, do some shout outs. And I do see a lot of Black men supporting Trump, especially after I think there's a little speech from Obama, and that kind of piss off some, young Black people that he's like kind of like, lecturing kind of tone. Have you seen that? That's just recently?
Well, that part, I would tell them, don't hate on Obama too much, because you got to remember, Obama won it because he was at the time, he was the best option the Democratic Party had, and he was a good speaker. Since his first speech on his campaign, everybody realized, ooh, he's going to take it because, he is great. But at the same time, when it comes to policy and making policy and setting things up, he's not the one that does that by himself. The president doesn't make the policy. He sets a tone on where he believes the country should go. Congress and the Senate make all those policies. And if a party isn't supporting the president properly, you get a lot of mess. Like, we did get some turds out of Obama's presidency, but he wasn't the one that made those policies. He had to support them because it was his party doing that. And then when we come around to now, the Democratic Party has dropped the ball because they should have been paying attention to that. These people speaking out and saying, we're going to support Trump. It's like, hey, you are so disenfranchised and disillusioned as to what the people really want. You're going to fail because you're not addressing what they want. You're not addressing the issues. And, people see these things. They're listening to you talk. You may think they're not, but they are listening to you talk. And they believe in Trump, not because he's a white guy, not because he's got, questionable male morals and on touching people. They look at him and believe him because he's a businessman. He knows how shit works. And he ain't trying to dance and sing you a song. You ask him a question, he answers it.
Yes, I believe there's I believe it's an interview or some commentary saying Trump is a straight shooter. Like, you ask a question, he answer, and he answer very, very straightforward. And there's, it's not like a filter or political correct in a sense. So that kind of make everybody nervous, especially people in the professional politicians, because they usually have to, like you said, dance around and make it sound good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we've lived 20 years of watching politicians, lawyers, cops, all kinds of people over and over and over and over again dance around answers for questions. You see it everywhere. And you're going to suddenly act like nobody recognizes it because it's the presidential debate or nominee. Come on. I'm like, geez.
Yes.
it's just disappointing.
So I think because the way Donald Trump, is very straight out, very non-filter, it's kind of like I feel like, oh, that's somebody I know. That's like my friend. You know what I mean? So it's very close to people.
He's done exactly. Yeah. You're absolutely right. He's done exactly what every president before him has tried to do to one degree or another: connect with the voter.
Yes,
Donald
talk
Trump
about
has managed to connect with the voter. Kamala Harris has only managed to connect with certain types of voters, and unfortunately, they're very small. They're a small minority.
Yes, talk about connecting the voters. As I mentioned to you before the show, Trump went to McDonald's and to work there for a day because Kamala Harris claimed herself when she was younger she worked at the McDonald's before, but nobody can even find a picture or record. The only one they found is like an AI made fake photo of Kamala Harris working at McDonald's. So that's pretty.
Yeah,
funny.
They would have had record of her working there eventually, to some degree. It'd have been listed somewhere, but it's like
nowhere to be found.
I would never ever mention that I work somewhere I never worked.
I think she just tried to be like what I just said, be close to people, but she tried it way over too hard. It doesn't look natural at all. Yeah.
She pulled a Hillary.
All right. So we're going to take a 5-minute break and I'm just going to play this live from PVD podcast. We have different live to share, between our talks. So this one is from PPD podcast. They're having a election night live. So we'll be back in five minutes.
Is that Candace?
Hang on.
Israel, no matter how horrific what they do.
Dominic, what's your position on this?
Very, very simple. He is talented. He is talented. He has this something. He is a leader. That is why when he says he's going to end this war, Russian-Ukrainian war, Russian aggression, to be frank and to be very specific, he has ability, he has a talent to do so. Because if he's able to take Jews, Muslims, non-believers, gays, I mentioned I'm gay, not stupid. That was a group of gays supporting Trump. If he can bring all these so much different groups, he can end up all these wars. He will do what has to be done about Iran, I do believe. Do you remember famous quote? Do you remember when one of the top terrorists was killed? He went out and he said, he died like a dog. He was very straight about it. No one really, the free world did not expect President of the United States, even President, to come out and say, ladies and gentlemen, this older man was lost his life. No, he says he died like a dog. That's what he says, and I love it. Because they treat, those the terrorists, they treat us like non-humans. Non-believers, non-humans, let's kill them all. So he died like a dog. And I love this quote because he's very straight. That was argument against him, that the language he uses is not diplomatic, that he tweets mean tweets, that the way he speaks, it's not for the president. He's the president of the people. He doesn't have to do that. The amount of money he owns, he says that many times, I would be somewhere on the beautiful, sunny island, not Epstein Island, but on some island, and I don't have to do that. So I would answer and I would describe it as a talent. And she has this, she has this primitive laugh. This laughter is just irritating everyone. And he's coming, he's coming in, he's getting into the room, and you feel this Sigma. You feel the man, you feel the guy who's not afraid. And now in 2024, we need someone who is not afraid and talented.
Okay, I want to come to Candace, but before I do, there's a guy that wants to say hello to everybody. Rob, if you're ready, bring him on. Some of you guys may recognize this guy. Let me know if you recognize him or not. Rob, if you're ready, if it's in the Zoom, let the man in. He's in a cage. He wants to be free. Do we have him on? I think Joe calls this man a national treasure. Rob, if you have him on, just show his face. The moment his face shows up.
There he is. Woo, Alex. Yo, man. Alex, you're the man. Poland loves you.
Alex, how you doing? What's happening? How you feeling about tonight?
I'm watching the second American Revolution take place peacefully. Even if Alex, they steal this, there's no reversing it. It's explosive on the street. It's everywhere. All the liberals that are good people are joining us. There's a global realignment, populist, anti-globalist being elected everywhere. Every broadcast has been fighting tyranny for so long, like yours. It's just exploding. The corporate old media has been dead for a while. Now they're just recognizing it. And we've got you and Tucker Carlson and Elon Musk and all of the cool, smart, hardworking, beautiful people of every race, color, and creed. And this is a magic moment, despite the wall of fraud and the illegals voting and all of the vote flipping and all of the scams. All the king's horses, all the king's men couldn't steal the election again. That's what it looks like. I'm very optimistic right now. But regardless, the global awakening is unstoppable. But that which doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. So no matter what happens tonight, America is back, baby.
Okay, we're back, baby. Okay, so what he just said, when I went to vote in California, I don't know, Thomas, if you know this. Now it's illegal to check ID for voting. So when I went to vote, they don't ask for ID. They just ask for your mailing address. That's just so odd to me. I know, right? This is this is a basic. I mean, if they're not checking the IDs, then what's the point that we check ID for drinking, we check ID for buying the cigarettes, or even the I think weed too, right? Yeah,
that's one of those things. It's like there's a lot of things. I'm like, there's a lot of things I believe that should be changed, and then most things I think need to be adjusted. There's some things I do think need to change. One is like when you start messing with voting laws, it's like this is the most basic tenet of being an American citizen.
Yeah,
always said the same way: being an American citizen, the right to vote.
Yes,
not just anybody, because when you make it. We don't ID. Anybody can vote. Now you're saying, we don't care who you are. You can come vote in America.
Yeah.
No.
But
this isn't your country. This isn't your own. What the hell are you doing?
Those people coming here, it's none of their business either, right? Why they have give a right to vote? That don't make sense. Okay. No country in this world is doing that. If I go to, let's say, Korea. If I go to Korea and want to vote, I don't think they're gonna let me. They're gonna put me in
look
jail.
At you like you're stupid. They're like, what?
Yeah,
they do just like that. They laugh.
What? Are you kidding me? Are you nuts?
You're a funny comedian. When are you doing your show? I'm gonna come and watch.
That's crazy. Yeah,
but they would never let you vote.
I know. Okay, so another one I think is very, very nonsense is about trans community, because Kamala is very, advocate for trans community, and then out of the blue she said she will support transgender surgery if anyone who's in prison, in jail, prison, they get free surgeries.
No, dude, that shit happen.
And I mean, okay, that made me thinking, okay, so what about the trans people outside of the prison? Can they get it for free? Why only people in the prison get it for free?
That's easy to answer. Because there's like this many people in prison, and it's like this many people in the country.
Yeah, exactly. So, and another thing is like this is like promoting crime. People can, just making out a joke. So I can basically say, I'm going to go committing a crime to be put in the jail so I can get the free surgery, right? Does that make sense?
I wouldn't go that far. But
yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's
I would definitely say,
very nonsense.
You know what? I can't say that because I can see some young kids, doing it just because of that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's to me, it's banana. I guess it's because I'm older now. So I've had enough experiences. I've seen enough things that I can say like, ooh, man, they're just stringing you along. Sitting on your back, whipping the hell out of you, dangling that carrot in your face and telling you somebody else with the switch.
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. And overall, we've been talking about this throughout this last couple months. Like you just said, trans people is a very minority, not even less than 1%. And they want to bring it to the stage, and it's just a distraction. It's not gonna help. It's not gonna help our economy. It's not gonna help our inflation. It's not gonna end the war. The two or three wars going on right now. It has nothing.
It's the boogeyman that's throwing your face.
Exactly. So, and people buy to it. That's another problem. See.
Yeah, it's the perfect boogeyman to throw in your face. Why? Because as soon as everything's done, I ain't got to say nothing about the trans community ever again, except for we're working with leadership.
Yeah.
Which I would be like, really? What leadership? Trans community leadership? Who is that? You're talking about a community that's never had leadership. Ever. They have no organization, never had leadership. That's like when they say, oh, we're working with leadership, when they talk about the so-called black issues in America. Oh, we're working with leadership. I'm like, who? Who are you working with?
Yeah.
Because I don't know anybody. So it's the boogeyman to throw in your face to make you scared so that you jump on the bandwagon and you're towing the line doing it.
Yes. And talk about boogeyman. A lot of people also saying that Diddy's, you heard about Diddy, right?
Diddy?
The reason I want to bring this up, okay, we have two major lists that people are waiting for. One is Epstein.
Oh, you ain't gonna see them.
Epstein list, and one is Diddy list. I've been thinking in my own.
It's the same list.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say.
What are you talking about? It's the same list. You ain't gonna see one of them.
I'm thinking in my head, who's going to be repeat on the list? And then people are worried that if Trump get elected, the list will come out. Either one, right? So that's why.
You ain't going to see that list. You might see a partial off that list. You might see a few names pop off that list, but you ain't going to see the list. No.
They're probably gonna just announce the major player. They're not gonna. Don't need to talk about the next door Bob.
Somebody that they can, anybody they can crush. They'll announce that, but you ain't gonna see anything else off the list because look at it. Diddy was on the list. Look how long it took them to roll up on Diddy after they had the list. They went through that list over and over and over and over. Until they figured out, okay, who can we press under the thumb, for all of this? And Diddy didn't take the proper precautions.
Well, there's a alleged. Okay, Jamie Foxx was sick months ago, and people are saying that because he was drugged by the Diddy party, and then Jamie Foxx turned over to FBI and report all the party, all the Diddy's doing. That's what happened. So I don't know. That's just what I heard.
Nah, they knew about Diddy. They've known about Diddy since they've known about Epstein. The thing is, everybody's fighting to keep their name from popping up on that list and coming out. And here's the thing: is like a lot of people are like, oh, who's on the list? People are only thinking about entertainers and politicians that might be on that list. And I'm like, no. Those are not the names you need to be concerned about on that list. You need to be concerned about the most wealthy families and movers and shakers that are on that list. That's what you need to be concerned about. Because a politician can disappear
and there's
tomorrow.
Two Bill is probably on those two lists.
There's a lot of people.
Two Bills.
There's a lot of people that are on that list that you don't even want mentioned to you in a shady bar. Oh, guess who I heard was on the list? You like smash him over the head with a bottle real quick and like, you keep my name out your mouth. Because I don't even want people to know you was trying to talk to me about who was on that list. Diddy was just an easy mark, and Diddy didn't take proper precautions.
Like you said, boogeyman, distractions.
Yeah, but Diddy is like, they'll pick him down for it, but they won't directly associate him hardcore with the list. You'll probably see about 3 or 4 more people go down for it over the next, 4 years. But,
yes.
Nah.
Okay.
And that's why a lot of people say, like, I put it to you, Diddy didn't take proper precautions.
Yeah, and also a lot of like we were talking about those celebrity endorsements. A lot of those celebrity who endorse is also on those lists. So I say lists. Yes. And
the sad part is, I guarantee you half of them didn't even know what the fuck was going on. They just got invited to a really fancy rich party in a private island. They don't even know why they don't even know about the stuff going on in the back room.
Yeah, well, Epstein is on the island. Diddy is I heard it's under the tunnel.
There's tons of people associated, especially when Epstein first came out. There was a lot of bankers and financiers associated with Epstein and with the whole deal and whatever. I forget the lady's name. His number one right hand.
Yes, I forgot her name. Yeah, maybe somebody in the chat can tell us.
Yeah, ain't gonna happen. You ain't gonna see that happen. We'll be like, you mention my name and see what happens. that's what they say. Like, mention my name and see what happens. Don't be stupid. No, it's it's a shame. I like the music his company put out, but at the same time, he's had a lot of controversy anyway, He's been associated with a lot of controversy. And not 24/7, but a lot of like whodunit controversy. And you're just like, man, you can't be doing like that. I understand it's a whole nother game when you get, up to a certain level. But this is just ridiculous. That Diddy stuff. Diddy is going to be vilified in the black community and put down.
In what?
And put down.
Put down. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna.
Well, I think there's a lot
They ain't
of
getting over that.
secrecy. There's a lot of secrecy. There's a lot of, pedophiles, sex trafficking, human trafficking. Just can you believe our sitting president? I know nobody want to pay attention to him anymore, but he just came out 2 days ago. I don't know what, like a conference, and then basically said, you use the word garbage and also use the word asses on national television. He said, all those Trump supporter are, they need some spank their asses. That's kind of weird to say, huh?
You just look at him like, you're just a mad old man.
Yeah, who in the hell was that? I don't even think Donald Trump, like, he's very mouthy. He's not gonna never use ass on television show or even podcasts. Yeah.
Yeah, right, Joe. Just
ridiculous.
Be glad you got your name in the history books. Be glad you got your name in the history books. That's what you wanted. Take it and run.
Well, his legacy is not going to turn out well. So
he would not be the first American president in history to have a foolish or poor legacy. Shoot, yes. There's what, at least 24 presidents people don't even mention that you wouldn't even know unless you looked at a list of who was president. When,
Yes. All right, so let's take another break, and this time I'm gonna share Benny Show. He's another very popular political channel on YouTube. So we'll be right back in 5 minutes.
The Benny Show?
Yes, Benny Show.
Can't stop looking at it. It's too beautiful. Can we call Pennsylvania for Trump yet? It's over. It's over. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at this. Barron Trump voting for his father. Look at that. Barron Trump voting for his dad. What a beautiful photo. Look at this young man. They're going to need to make a taller voting booth for Barron. Melania Trump posting. Melania Trump, the official Melania Trump account with 3 million subs, posting first time voting for his dad. Oh, it's beautiful. They're breaking the needle. Look at it. Look at the needle. It's crossing the 300 electoral vote mark. They're breaking the needle. We have full Trump domination right now. 88% likely chance. The needle is broken. The needle is broken. Holy smokes. The New York Times has now projected Donald Trump to win the popular vote. Kamala campaign is no longer giving any comments. You remember these smug a-holes at the Kamala campaign? You have anybody in your neighborhood with a Kamala sign that says, Kamala, obviously, no longer giving comment. You shut up the cackle. That alone makes Donald Trump a great icon. Oh, look at us. There we go. In the feed. Inception. Okay. President Trump now expected to win the popular vote. Ladies and gentlemen, tell Kamala I want her to know it was me. It's too good. It's too good. The final revenge. No tweet from Kamala Harris HQ in 4 hours. Bernie Moreno winning in the Senate. So exciting for us. Okay, boys, I've asked for a couple of videos. let's go ahead and lock and load. We've been teasing a lot of this stuff. Because Pennsylvania has not been called yet, because Pennsylvania still looks like this, okay? 71% in. 150,000 vote margin for Donald Trump. Pennsylvania has not been called yet. I want to show you what absolute chilling, blood-curdling panic looks like on MSNBC as they talk through the dominance of President Trump's performance in Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, this is MSNBC all but admitting that it's over. As I can report to you that the Secret Service has now moved massive security vehicles to Mar-a-Lago. It's happening. It's happening. The Secret Service has now moved a full presidential detail to Mar-a-Lago. They know. They know. The internals are already there. Elon Musk just tweeted, game, set, match. Elon Musk just said, Pennsylvania's won. We're finished here. Ladies and gentlemen, we haven't called it yet, so we're going to stay locked in. Stay locked in. But here's what they're saying on MSNBC. This is doom for them. Let's go.
Another. And here in Berks County, again, with one of the larger Hispanic populations in Pennsylvania, here's Trump with just about, that's basically the vote here, winning it by 13. Look at that. 4 years ago, he won it by 8. This is exactly what the Trump campaign said it was going to do in a place like Burke County. It was going to take that and it was going to make it double digits. They've made it double digits in Burke County. We check in on Luzerne County. And again, we've been talking about this one as that same day vote comes in. This is Wilkes-Barre. This is Hazleton, another county with a substantial Hispanic population, one of the highest in Pennsylvania. Now Trump has hit his 2020 number there, and he's got a long way to go here. All that vote that's still to come in, we expect to be election day vote. The pattern, the trend is pretty clear here. So again, you're seeing Trump in good position in one of those big counties, densely populated counties in Northeast Pennsylvania. Take a look down here at Cumberland County. We talked about this one a little while ago. This was a big hope for Democrats in Pennsylvania coming into tonight. Again, 95% means basically it's all in Cumberland County. Again, 2020 looked like this. It's basically the same. It's a fraction of a point different. But that's a win for the Trump campaign because in the context, look at this. It was an 18-point race. Trump won here by 18 points in 2016. Democrats made a huge jump. This was one of their biggest in the state in 2020, bringing it down to 10. They wanted to keep this going tonight. They didn't. Trump was able to stop the losses in Cumberland County. So again, that's something that encourages that his campaign exactly wanted to see right there. We're starting to get Erie County. Again, this would be the vote by mail in Erie County. The story we've been talking about elsewhere now is going to play out in Erie. This is the bellwether. It's one of the two that switched sides to Biden in 2020. The name of the game in the final 2/3 of the vote is, can Trump catch Harris with the election day vote? Just checking in on Philadelphia. We're up to 2/3 of the vote now in Philadelphia. And again, this is just Philadelphia, the city. And again, I think this is becoming a bit of a theme we're seeing in multiple states now, the Hispanic vote. Why did Trump make some progress? It was small, but it was there in Philadelphia in 2020. It was because he improved with Hispanic voters in Hispanic areas of the city. With 2/3 of the vote in Philadelphia now, it's 77-21. Well, that looks terrible, but compare that to 2020 and look at that. Trump is running 3.5 points better in Philadelphia than he did in 2020. Harris now 4 points off the Biden number. There is more mail to come, more vote by mail to come in Philadelphia. That will be a boost to Harris, but there's also more same day vote to come. And you can see Trump is running above his 2020 levels there. So where this lands, the Trump campaign's goal in Philadelphia is basically get that Biden number under 80%. So far, they're on course to do that. There's the wild card of the mail there that adds a lot of volatility to this. But again, you're starting to, as these counties fill in, you're starting to see some patterns, and patterns you're not just seeing in one state, you're seeing them in multiple states right now.
Trump has dominantly rolled through the Keystone State like one of those massive fracking vehicles pulling votes out of communities, inspiring, surviving an assassination attempt, giving hope to the state where our very independence was ratified. Independence Hall. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at the precipice of the new American Revolution, we sit. The new American Revolution. Here we are. We are watching 74% in Pennsylvania. This is it. This is the ball game. Donald Trump's at 246, 270 to win. He has 50 million votes. Kamala Harris has 45 million votes. What? Okay, let's go.
Okay, so looks like Trump is winning the popular vote across the board.
Yeah, it's I don't even think this is going to wind up being close.
It's a landslide, you think?
I wouldn't say a landslide because we got, hold on. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 swing states.
Okay.
And
I'm still counting.
Only one, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Only North Carolina's rogered up so far out of all the swing states.
How about Pennsylvania? What did they?
That guy Justin, he said it, but Pennsylvania hasn't finalized anything enough for reporting yet.
Yeah, because
not as far as the Associated Press can tell.
I think everyone is saying that once that Pennsylvania come out, then it will be it. We'll be dead. we will be finished.
Well, see, here's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Trump's almost 50% across the board, and the majority in 6 out of the 7 swing states, with the exception of Arizona. No, 5 out of the 7 swing states, with the exception of Arizona. He's 49 in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not getting results on Nevada yet, or Virginia, or New Mexico. New Mexico is not a swing state. Nevada, Arizona.
No. Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia, North Carolina is the only one that's posted saying Trump's got the electoral vote for it. Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin haven't rogered up the electoral vote nod yet. So I'm not going off. I'm going off of the. I'm not going off popular votes. What I'm looking at is vote tally information. Popular vote's nice, but it would be a whole different presidential campaign if popular votes was what won you the presidency.
Yeah. Yes.
The minute that's why they haven't gotten rid of the electoral college. At all. The minute they get rid of that, it's a whole nother story.
Yeah, earlier during the day, I was kind of checking in on like traditional media news outlet, and I only watched for 3 minutes. I cannot take it anymore. They're so biased. They're like reporting. Of course, they're more into Kamala Harris and saying Trump is losing. Yeah.
It's so hard to even sit there and just listen to anything they're saying, because you're right. You can tell exactly who that media outlet is supporting.
Yeah.
By just what they're putting out. It's
right.
Terrible. It never used to be. I wouldn't say it never used to be like that, but I remember when I was a kid, the media used to be hard on every politician.
Yes. Yeah. So not right now is like, I can tell it's turning around like all the other channel that we're sharing tonight. Like these are independent podcasters, independent media outlets. And another one that I want to bring up is Twitter X, because Elon Musk bought it, and then they turned to be a very open, free of speech platform. Because remember we were talking about censorship a couple months ago, about Google, and then Joe Rogan's podcast that interviewed Trump. That episode was, I don't know how many millions of views right now, but then nobody can find it under the search bar on YouTube. And it's like very popular show, millions of views, and it's not even shown as a trending video. That's just, that's really bad.
And you're absolutely right. And it's not. I'm not gonna say it's not right. All I'm gonna say is this: you should be very scared. You should be not only very scared, you should be outrightly incensed. And I don't care which party you support. You should be insanely pissed off and incensed, and you should be screaming to your congressman and your senator with just vitriol hate mail for these actions, because you let them do it now, it'll never come back.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so many institutions in so many ways. It's just outright okay now to mislead people.
Yes, mislead.
Online.
And then, also misinformation and try to hide the truth, So, and after Elon Musk took over the platform, it's become very open, and this is actually a good thing because it influences other platform to be followed. Otherwise they're gonna lose the attractions. I think that TikTok has been putting in the front line, because right now I have all platforms.
Right. They'll follow to a certain degree, but they're still going to do like TikTok.
Yeah, because
China's still going to do the same thing they were doing before.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about Olympic a couple months ago, and then the most ban or take down or you're not following the community guideline. It's all from TikTok, most of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, just like I said, everybody cries about policy and censorship, and I'm like, hey, you made it okay to mislead people online. It's gonna come back and bite you, and that's what I'm just gonna laugh. I will sit there and laugh in everybody's face, because that's what these politicians don't understand. There are people that understand the internet way better than you. If there's one thing you should have protected and made sure it had high standards, it's the fucking internet. But you didn't. So guess what? It's going to be used against them too. Just like it's getting used against everybody else. Because I get ads and stuff on the internet all the time. My phone, half the time, I don't even answer my phone anymore. If you don't pop up with the name of your business clearly displayed, or the name of somebody, yeah, I don't even bother, because it only comes up as spam risk.
Yeah.
I used to answer the calls, and it was either somebody trying to sell me something, somebody trying to get me to join some group, somebody trying to. They just want money. I can help you do this, and I'm like, why are you calling me? No. You see all these ads like, oh, you need this and this tool and app to drive business, drive more customers to your business. And I'm like, no. I would recommend people not listen to any of that and don't do it. Research the traditional methods and how it's done. Don't rely on robo stuff because you got to roll out cold calling random numbers. More people that Roger up and they say, oh, McDonald's. It's just going to drive your image negative hard.
Yeah. Did you get any? Did you get any politic text messages?
Mm-hmm.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody did. I got political text messages.
Yeah.
I get text messages all the time.
I'm thinking, how did they get my number?
Hmm?
Yeah. I was thinking, how did they get my number? Yeah. Maybe our personal information is in a dark web. They call it.
They did the same thing everybody else is doing. That cold calls you and sends you text out of the blue. It comes up on your phone as spam risk. They bought your information online.
Yeah. People are selling it too. So.
Yeah, they bought your information online, which personally I'm like, you know what? I feel like I should get, 5% of that. I'll be okay because I know you're doing a lot of people. I feel like I should get like 2% of that. Every time you sell,
commission, right?
On list, I get 2% of that cut.
Hey, I think it's gonna eventually become like that. When we're talking about how do you say, copyrights or data sharing?
Yeah, because you're selling me,
right?
But I don't get a cut of that.
Yeah, and when we talked last time, we talked about what do you call it? Crypto technology. The let's say if an author is writing a book, especially a textbook, if you finish the class, you don't need a textbook anymore. Usually you resell it to the second person, right? And then the author usually
resell it. That's been that way for generations upon generations. You know what? That's what all college kids is. Done with your college textbook, sell it back to the bookstore.
Yeah, but
you
the person
don't get what you paid for, but you get a few bucks.
Yeah, but the thing is, the person who wrote it only get one time of residuals.
Yep.
So the new technology with NFT, NFT can be able to track that and keep getting the residual to the second hand, third hand, fourth hand, so on and so forth. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, they have it, but then you got people like Spotify. They do that, and you get it cut eventually, but you're getting like what 0.4% cut.
I don't know.
Off of your,
I'm not music, right? You're talking about songs.
I'm not in music either, but I know that's been a big issue that a lot of people have started pulling away from. Those Spotify platforms is because a lot of people who put out good music that pulls in stuff have pulled away because those contracts are just trash.
Yeah. So NFT will hopefully, be more mainstream and will be fix all those copyrights and, be able to leverage on more and more residuals for those creators. All right, we're going to take another short break, and this is going to show a clip with Tucker Carlson's, and we will just come back with our final thoughts and see where this goes. Okay, we'll be back in 5 minutes.
and come up with a lower number for the Senate. But they're going to spend $200 million against Tim Sheehy in Montana, like Chuck Schumer. 200. You know what $200 million is in Montana? A state of 1 million people with a cheap media market. That's billions. If you were spending it in a bigger state, it's insane. I'd love to see the presidential race. Here's $300 million a piece. Run it like a business. Do it efficiently. Come up with make sure people actually know, because when you have unlimited funds, it's sort of like Ukraine, right? When you have unlimited funds, why would you ever get to the table? Why would you ever work?
Totally
why would
right.
you ever
It's
do something
exactly
smart?
Right.
I'd love to see something
it's
like that.
It's like inherited money. It's why they're all drug addicts, right?
Yeah, it's disgusting. And when I think of the money that's blown on these things, and then the special interests and this, and then everyone gets man, it'd be nice to cut some of that out and just be able to do what Americans actually want, not what the guy that bought you for the last 2 years while you're running a presidential actually wants you to do. And so, yeah, I guess it's why they also hate Trump, is he hasn't been bought.
Well, he definitely
he doesn't care. When he goes to these fundraisers, I've seen him yell at these guys that are big donors. They're like, I won't even mention names. You'll know them, because I'm sure you actually loathe some of these people, because I know I do. But I saw a couple times where they just sort of went really anti-Trump and then try to come back around, and he doesn't even open the door, just talks to them like you would a petulant child. And I'm just like, well, there's $25 million out the window, but man, it was worth listening to that.
Well, I just watched that about an hour ago. I don't know if you were in the room with your dad, but there are all these big donors in the other room right there. And he was joking with one of them, who's a very famous, one of the richest people in the world. And he starts making fun of him.
Yeah,
like ridiculous. I don't think anyone has spoken to this billionaire that way ever. And it was, it was joking around, but it was
this example that I'm talking about, was not at all joking around. And it didn't it didn't matter. You just see this guy that's, worth 12, 15, $20 billion, just walk away with it, his tail between his legs. Now, he doesn't give you the money which you need to combat some of the stuff. But I was like, you know what? We probably could have deployed that capital, but man, that was worth it. That was the best $25 million I've ever seen just burned.
I love that.
Douse it with lighter fluid and set it ablaze. It was sort of so, yeah, man, it was interesting. Last night, just being in Michigan at 2:00 in the morning, watching an entire stadium still energized and invigorated, and just being sort of, I think we win. I think we do great. Whatever it is, but it was man, that was sort of an end of an era. Trump on the campaign trail.
I know.
I don't think we'll ever see that again. No. There's not enough personality in politics. There's not enough sort of.
It's so overwhelming. I mean, I met all these people who've been to, I've been to 40 Trump rallies, and it's why? And the answer is because they're so fun.
Yeah. No, I mean, there are people that have been to over 100 that I've met, and I'm not sure I've been to 100. My theory on that, when they're I'm not the guy looking for credit. I'm not the guy trying to.
No, you're not. It's true.
I'm not the guy trying to be in the selfie. And politics. There's all these people well, why are you here? You could actually do something if you were out of, in all fairness, you're adding, if Trump's in the room, virtually no one else adds any value, right?
No,
it's
I've been there. Yeah,
give him a mic, true. He'll be fine. He doesn't need your help. He doesn't need your sage advice of bullshit. But you still see a lot of that where they're just there to be in the background, to be seen there. And I'm so I'm the opposite. Yesterday, I did want to do the last day. Yesterday was the only day in the entire cycle that I've spent with my father. I just
was it fun?
It was great, but I'm kind of like my dad that way. I rather have the mic also. So it's I'm sitting there at the end of 4 rallies. It's 5:30 in the morning, and I'm exhausted. And you know what it's like.
Very
get up on the stage when we did our great event up in Jacksonville, and there's 17,000 people there, and I'm you get done. It's okay, it's bedtime. It's yeah, I'm not going to sleep for hours. I'm watching.
I know.
You absorb some of that energy when the crowd gives you that. You absorb that energy, and you're not. So it's, I'm looking at my dad. And I'm and honestly, I'm always impressed with him. And whether it's getting shot in the face and coming back defiant, or but his overall energy. It's it's 6 a.m. He's been going since 6 a.m. 24 hours. He's had the thousands of people that he's been entertaining. And it's not like a Kamala Harris speech, which is 7 minutes off a prompter. I mean. You can have a 45-minute speech in the prompter, but he's up there for, 120 minutes. It's I'm for the love of God, we did the first rally in North Carolina. We got there relatively on time. And by the time we got done, we're well, we're already 2 hours behind schedule. I'm I'm not going to get to sleep tonight. And I'm going to be on TV and radio all morning. So, I pulled an all-nighter, but, the guy's 78, pulls an all-nighter, is doing TV all day, doesn't go to sleep at all, and I'm like, I don't even know that. I don't have that at 46. Like it's I'm like,
well, tonight he was in there. I don't know. You're probably working, but he was in there, and the returns are coming up at the first tranche at 7. All his biggest donors standing around him, and he's doing this like play-by-play in front of everybody just for like 40 minutes, and it's hilarious.
And he remembers everyone, and he remembers when they got on board, especially the guys that got on early. But the recall, is actually amazing. Like when they start doing the most offensive stuff I see is like when they're like, well, Trump's in the later stages of dementia and Alzheimer's. I'm like, the same people that told you that Joe Biden is alive and well. I'm like, it's been a weekend at Bernie's for 4 years, but he really, he gets it. And so,
no, he's not in the later stages of dementia. No, I think it's fair to say. I mean, you don't have to like him, but he's not suffering from dementia.
Yeah. Well, you combine just the full weight and force of the mainstream media, $1 trillion industry. You combine that, you add in, big tech, you add in, 3-to-1 outspend on it. And it's like, it's hard. Like, I feel like if I was a leftist, like we'd win elections by like 99.9 to like 0.01. And the 0.01 is like people who just filled in the wrong circle or something like that. Like, it's actually hard to believe we can even be competitive, but that's how insane the Democrat Party is today.
I got to say, for me, there are lots of things I'm looking forward to if he wins. But Nicole Wallace's response has got to be right at the top of the list. Like,
a couple of those, I want to like juxtapose them to like 2016. Who Martha Raddatz, the very, very unbiased moderator of the Hillary Clinton debate. She's there in tears on TV. I'm like, you think she's really like unbiased? You think there's even like a little bit? And you look at the way they've analyzed the coverage. 93% negative against Trump, like 276% positive for Kamala Harris. I'm like she hasn't even given you guys your policies. Like, if you like, it'd be one thing if like, hey, you excuse just overall, lack of charisma, but like she wouldn't even tell them their policies. It's fine. Like we'll figure out the policies on January 20th.
They have no self-respect.
It's brutal, right? Like it's hard to believe that you can even have a close.
Wallace is just, there's something about her. It's just, When I was a kid, I was a magazine writer, and I went down to Florida to interview Jeb Bush on his education policies. He was like an idiot, but I was required to think he was impressive. And Nicole Devonish, she was then called, was the little gatekeeper. I remember thinking, this woman's really stupid and really kind of nasty and self-important. And then the next thing I wake up and she's got a show on MSNBC, and she's like the most dishonest, weepiest, just like sanctimonious. Don't you think that her like melting down on MSNBC will make all of it worth it?
100%. Like, even 50 hours of congressional testimony for treason. Like, they're like, why'd you work so hard on this, Don? It's like, well, because I don't want to end up in the gulags next. I mean, you and I would have fun if they put us next to each other.
It'd be
probably
fun,
separate us. But it's insane. But no, it's interesting when with the media, with politics in general. I came from the business world. Like, you don't just get lucky. In business, you can get lucky once, but like the guys that have 40-year careers, like they're impressive people. Politics, media, they're actually incredibly unimpressive. And it's sort of amazing. It's sort of what I love about what's going on right now when you have like, my father, and you have, a Vivek, and you have a JD who, in all fairness, I think I should probably get a little credit for just kind of taking on the billionaire donor class that wanted their puppet VP. And
if only people knew how much credit you deserve for that. So, that was a heroic.
I don't ask for much, but I was like, I'm all in on that. It's like,
that story will never be written, but that was one of the great moments in any politics I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of politics.
You definitely exerted. I exerted 10,000% of my political capital. I may get like, I may get a favor from my father in like 2076. I used it all, but it was great after the debate
and it actually worked out. He turned out to be amazing.
Listen, if I go all in, it's usually like I feel really strong. I don't go all in often. There's not a lot of things I'm sort of indifferent. Like I'll work around some of the bad stuff. Right. This was one that was like, it was really important to me. And like,
but there've been like no hiccups. It's
no,
crazy.
well, honestly, it's sort of interesting. I've had like a lot of these like sort of Republican donor class people come up to me, which is really stupid of them, by the way. But they're like, Don, like I was MFing you for like 3 weeks about that decision because I really wanted XYZ. And then I'm like, you really shouldn't tell me that you were doing that behind my back. Like I appreciate the candor now, but I'm like, that like, I don't know, like I'm going to remember that. Like, it's like, but they're like, but you were right. And then, and the only one that mattered, I wanted my father to be happy, but it was after the debate, my phone's blowing up in my pocket and I figured it was press, or I'm doing the spin room for like 2 hours after the debate and, doing all this, my phone I'm just like turning off my phone. And it was like, I had like 12 missed calls from my dad. I'm like, oh boy. That's usually not great. And he just gets on the phone. He goes, Don, I did that for you, Don, but that was a 10. And that like a huge win in Trump world is like a 6. And so when he was like, that was a 10, that's as close to a 10 as you're going to get. I was like, okay, we got it. But, it was watching him, even that first week, as the narrative, they were trying to crush this guy. They would have tried to crush anyone. I understand that. Yeah. But, they were trying to crush him. And I just watched him on the Sunday shows do 3 in a row, just absolutely dismantle the narrative. Because our problem on our side is like, they want to be loved by these people who literally hate their guts.
Oh, yeah.
We joke about the gulags, but they would gladly put any one of us in them if they could just snap their fingers and make it happen. And, it was watching that where JD didn't just take their, January 6th was an insurrection. Okay, it was an insurrection, but, it wasn't like, it's like, no, this is ridiculous. Like, what are you talking about? And just absolutely crush these people. And it's because no one's ever pushed back.
I know.
It's not that they're smart. It's like people want to get invited back on the show, so they concede so much ground. So, you're starting a negotiation with already less than you're even hoping to get. And it's like, well, why would you do that? And he's been one of the first people to really break the mold on that and just sort of, not just accept the narrative.
Okay, Thomas. So what do you have for us? Any updates on the polls?
As far as the updates go right now, it's Trump is still crushing it by like 4 million votes, 4.1 million votes.
Is this like across the board, across all states?
Overall comparison, Trump's crushing it by 4.1 million votes. Harris has got a long way to go, and as the other states are counting up the tallies and producing their records, he's still
too early
dominating.
To call? Is it too early to call?
No.
Huh?
No. Too early to call. I don't know. It's hard to say about the swing states because I can't see the overall balance between the two votes.
Okay.
Like I'm looking at Georgia right now. It's a 2% vote. So that's a couple 100,000 votes.
Yeah, because
so
I saw a post earlier during the day. It's from CBS, and it's stating that it might look like whoever is winning, but the vote is still counting, so we won't be able to know until tomorrow or a couple days later. That don't make sense because you and I know like with today's technology, that's not gonna add up because remember back in the even just Obama era, we are able to know on the same day, right? Remember that?
Yeah. Like they should have all the votes done by tomorrow morning at the latest.
I hope so.
See, the thing with that is like the swing states are really close as far as how the votes are going. And I say really close because we're talking about a difference of a couple 100,000. But that also means
how many did they announce any swing states that finished counting yet, or are they all still counting?
Only North Carolina has tallied up as being one way or the other. North Carolina is 90% into their reporting process. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So they've got 5 counties. No, 7 counties left worth of tallying to do in North Carolina. But at the same time, it's already said he's already won the electoral vote because he's already passed the number of votes he needed to win the electoral vote for that state.
Got it.
And lock it in. That's why it's that way. And as far as the other swing states, they haven't passed that number of electoral votes needed to win.
All right. Any states on the West Coast? Do they announce anything? On the West Coast?
Nevada and Arizona are on the West Coast, and Nevada is not saying nothing. Nobody's getting any information out of Nevada. It's so far one way or the other, but Arizona is. I don't even know why Arizona's 50%, only at 50%, because it's 9:00 at night.
Yeah, 50% of what, counting? Or
yes, they've only got 50% reported on the race, and that's why I'm like, it's 9:00 at night. We got 3 people in the whole state trying to count.
Well, they are. I don't know what's their. Are they 2 hours or 3 hours behind us?
No, at most,
like faster than California, right? Mountain time, Central time.
I think they're like same time zone as we are. To be honest, but I mean, even still.
Okay.
Oh, not Nevada. New Mexico. Did I say Nevada? Nevada hasn't reported anything. New Mexico. Oh shit! I forgot to put time.
New Mexico.
New Mexico.
New Mexico.
They're pretty cool state flag. They're on. They have 2 different time zones in New Mexico.
Oh wow!
Because the line crosses through it. Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. So they're an hour ahead at most in New Mexico.
I see. Okay, so they should be. They close the poll an hour before us, because I think that's the voting. The voting place closed at 7 p.m.
Yeah, so they're trying to get those last couple hundred boxes counted up, and it's 3 of them: 1 to count, 1 to move the boxes over, and 1 to take the box away.
Yeah.
And they got
Okay.
one person going, yes, you,
yes,
you. Throwing it in piles. Like, ooh. Yeah, but no, they should be so much further. Like Georgia's at 93% reporting. North Carolina is still reporting, but like I said, it's already won the electoral vote.
Right.
Pennsylvania is still reporting. They're at 83%, hasn't won the electoral vote yet, or hasn't been reported to have won it yet. Wisconsin's at 75%. Michigan is at 44%.
Okay.
So they probably split. They probably got the the 2 people that were helping Arizona. They got sent over to Michigan.
I know, right? With 2024 technology, right?
Yeah. Wow. And then that's another thing. It's like, as citizens, we always got to remember the states the federal government has a lot of authority, but at the same time, you got to remember the states have a great deal of authority themselves. It says like there's a lot of things that the federal government can mandate and demand and blah 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 back and forth, but the states, you know, they have a lot of authority. A lot of people think it's like, you know, like governors and mayors. No. You're the governor of a state. You've got a lot of pull.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a lot of pull. The only reason your congressmen and senators got pull is because they argue with the congressmen and senators from other states about how, you know, how to make stuff go as far as federally is concerned. But the governor runs your state. End of story. You know, the governor runs your state. And like, say, mayors of cities, they can't go against, they can't be like, nah, LA's not doing that. We're not feeling it. You know, like up here in Pasadena, we can't be like, the mayor of Pasadena can't be like, yeah, we're not quite kind of feeling that mandate there, governor. You know, and the governor like, shut up. You know, you know what? The governor like, wait a minute, you're not even a full-time mayor. Because here in Pasadena, I mean, we have a mayor in Pasadena, but it's not a full-time mayor. We don't have a full-time mayor. So the city's not big enough. You know, the revenue's not enough to even have that. So we don't have. There's no mayor of like the same way they have a mayor in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
we don't have that. You have it like in Long Beach. You're the mayor. Who's the mayor in Long Beach?
I don't recall his name. Oops.
You got a keyboard right there.
Yeah, but you know, it's gonna get stuck. Anyways, so I want to do, let's do some final thoughts. So I'll start. So, you know, no matter who wins in this election, we should stay calm, stay peaceful, because at the end of the day, you know, this is an election and we all do our parts. So we just have to see the outcome, and hopefully whoever's in charge don't play games, because I did hear, you know, somebody said maybe when it comes to January, we're just not gonna certify Trump if he actually win the election, then that's gonna create trouble. You know, that's gonna create.
That's one thing I definitely hope we don't have to go through again. That was I don't care what anybody says. That was, in my opinion, that was totally embarrassing, childish, and very small of Trump to go on that campaign. You know, it was rigged. It was rigged campaign. I'm like, you know what? If you wanted to go that route, first thing you should have did was go get the freaking evidence. You know,
that was during
call for
COVID.
investigation, get the evidence, then bring it out. Don't turn it into a circus. You know, and I mean, there's been a lot of, I say he's had quite a few missteps, but nobody's perfect. You know, a lot of leaders have had missteps and bounce backs and lefts and rights. But you know, to turn the event that you're competing in into a circus because you don't like the outcome, it says way more about you as a leader than it does about the event. And if you felt that strongly, you should have did it the right way.
Yes. So, like I mentioned, everybody should stay calm, and we already did our part, voting and all that. So let's just wait and see the results. And I want to thank you, everybody who's joining us tonight. And I do read a lot of comments on the side. Some are really good and some are very nasty, but it's okay because we're open. You know, we are very open to all comments and all different type of free of speech, right? So thank you, Thomas, for joining us, and I guess we will continue our life next week.
Yes, we will. And my apologies, Victor Gordo. That's the mayor of Pasadena.
What?
My apologies. I should no. I didn't know him. My apologies, Victor Gordo is the mayor of Pasadena. I had to look it up.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So nobody in town can be like, "How you don't know?
How you don't know?" Oh my goodness.
I got it to make the record right. All right, everyone.
All righty.
Thank you for joining us, and we appreciate your time and your energy.
Yes.
And I appreciate you having me on, Shelby, on your show.
Of course.
You. It's always a pleasure.
Same here. All righty. So have a good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Good night, Shelby.
Bye-bye.